Good evening to everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ted Santos, and it's Friday, and it's time for a little YouTube and chill. I always like to have a intimate conversation about relationships. But today, it's going to be intimate. It's a different kind of relationship, more relationship with self. It's Friday, and you guys know what time Friday is. So it's time for YouTube and chill, where we talk about life, love, relationships, intimacy, sex. And we are going to get into some intimacy, but this is going to be more about the intimacy with yourself and how that works. Or is it not working? This is one of those conversations that it's unfortunate that it has to be had. I'm not sure it's really being had. This is going to be a different kind of provocative. And we are definitely going to address some reality here. It's Friday night, and it's time to YouTube and chill. And unfortunately, we're going to be dealing with a topic that's not so chill. Talk about a topic that many people love and cherish. But in light of today's events and losing someone who many would call one of hip hop's greats, what's the real impact here? It's an unfortunate circumstance, except it's a conversation that's long overdue. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe. I'm going to drop some science today. As always, I like to take a perspective that's not commonly held, unpopular, provocative, politically incorrect. And let's look at something that we all know is there, except we don't talk about it. So does hip hop promote poor mental health for men? That's the conversation I'd like to have. Okay, Nelson. Appreciate that. Appreciate you letting me know you're here. Thanks for joining. This is one of those unfortunate conversations. And understand if you're at work, man, take care of business and make things happen. Appreciate you stopping by. Smash the like button before you go out. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe. This is a great time to smash that bell so you get notifications. I drop my PayPal and Cash App. Support is always greatly appreciated. And all of your comments give me sort of become a source of inspiring dialogue. So I always appreciate your comments here. So, but this is Many people have heard of DMX. He's popular. He's been in the hip hop industry. He's broken into the big screen in the movies. Been on the silver screen with Jet Li and some other popular people. Plays his role well, except you have to wonder what else was going on. It's not he had a drug overdose and he had a heart attack. It's not the first drug overdose he's had. Someone saved him from one, I think it was in 2009. I'll open up an article and look at the years, the sequence. But if you understand his childhood, everyone has a story, right? We've all had some trauma. We've had our parents fail us. If you come out of a single parent household, you surely have had a parent fail just by not being there, even if they died. I mean, missing a parent in a household causes emotional trauma. So DMX has been living out some trauma, and I'm concerned about the perspectives that he's had and he's promoted, and he's not the only one. I mean, if you look at the hip hop world and how they talk about popping bottles and Percocet and other drugs, and I say this because, well, I say this in the face of, I saw a report a few years ago, and it said that it was talking about heroin being an epidemic in the United States. So heroin has sort of spread throughout the U.S. regardless of social class, race. It's everywhere in the U.S. And it's very interesting now that we've had this coronavirus. No one talks about heroin anymore. But a few years ago, I saw a report and it said the fastest growing segment of the U.S. population that's using heroin, and it was growing like crazy. And it's a population that most people would never, ever think. I mean, when you take a step back, when I tell you, if you don't know, when I tell you who the fastest growing segment of heroin users in the US is, it's women who earn high incomes, right? And if you think about that logically, right, a woman who earns a high income, almost always women who earn high incomes are well educated. You don't get women who are like Henry Fords and Steve Jobs, who either didn't go to college or did little to none. These women have high incomes, most likely advanced degrees, and they have been the fastest growing segment of heroin users. These are not housewives. So heroin has been a problem. And if you look at women who have been growing in heroin usage, you have to start to ask, why would a well-educated woman who makes plenty of money, who is in a high income bracket, turn to heroin? Like, what's the escape? Like, what's the mental health issue? Even though when you see this woman's lifestyle and say she's so successful, she's using heroin. What's going on? So we've got mental health issues in the US. So I'm highlighting that something has driven women to using heroin, even though they earn high incomes and more than likely they're well educated. So, that leaves a question. What happened? So, hey, yeah, SW, it can only bring out what's in them. Same as a movie or video game cannot be to blame for a person's behavior. Interesting. So Well, I'm talking about now women who earn high incomes and are well educated and they've been using heroin. That means these women have jobs that, have some element of power, and either they're not dealing with that very well or something else is going on. But their ability to cope with whatever is going on is being soothed, for lack of better words, by heroin. So that's a mental health issue. So if we look at hip hop, and a lot of artists say, well, what people make music about in hip hop is based on what's happening in the streets. And I have a question about that, because if you look at the 1960s and you look at the artists like the Supremes, you had Temptations, Four Tops, you had Marvin Gaye, Al Green, you had, and there was drugs and LSD. There was a lot happening. We became an experimental country with drugs, and you did have some artists that died from drugs. Except the hip hop community is saying their mindset is the way it is because of what's happening in the streets, poverty. Except if you go back to the 1960s and you look at the riots that were happening in the Black community, you look at the police brutality, you look at the blatant discrimination, you look at the soldiers of any race that came back from Vietnam and people were spitting on them. And many of those Vietnam vet soldiers were in Vietnam. Talk about mental health. A lot of them dealt with the war. Like, fighting in the jungle was something that people in the U.S. hadn't experienced. It was very different. Fighting against people who were putting bombs, creating booby traps with bombs on babies, on infants. So a lot of people in Vietnam were using heroin. I actually worked with a guy who was in Vietnam, and he used heroin there. A lot of guys came back and stopped, but this guy I knew, well educated, came back and was CEO in quite a few companies. I mean, he was hired by boards or investors to be a CEO, and he'd go to his lunch break he said, to the shooting gallery and shoot up heroin. He was a functioning heroin addict. But his mental health that's how he coped with it in Vietnam. And this guy did some insane stuff. He crashed on purpose over 120 helicopters because he figured out how to crash land a helicopter without getting a scratch. Except his, as you said, SW, his crutch was heroin, and he came back and he was still using it. So if people in the 60s and 70s were dealing with poverty and violence, police brutality, riots, and the music still didn't come out as violent, it didn't come out as a projection of mental health. So something is happening now. And if you read about DMX's life, there was an interview. I'll pull it up. And he said his mother knocked his, I think, 2 teeth out of his mouth with a broomstick. And at some point, he lived on a street. He said he slept in trash dumpsters. What I find troubling about that is he said that he thought that was being a man. And so this is where I start to have concerns, right? So what the hip hop industry is calling manhood is actually a promotion especially to guys who grow up without fathers. And we are getting more and more of that. So if a guy says, I was homeless, I slept in trash dumpsters, and that's how I became a man, that's not really manhood. And if you want proof, DMX is whatever, as you're saying, SW, people call demons. His demons won. His demons took him out. His demons had him dysfunctional. And his way to cope with it, as you said, a crutch, was drugs. So what is that what is really happening in the hip hop community? That unlike in the 60s and 70s where, you know, they had what they call soul music, and they sung about getting people out of Vietnam and, you know, what's going on in the streets. They talked about it, but they were considered, you know, soul artists. They sang from the soul, and they talked about possibilities. They sung about love. But now we get violence, drugs, men and women saying the other ain't shit. I don't need you. I mean, is that what really is happening in the streets? Or is that just the mindset and people are projecting it through their music? Yeah, there are a lot of violent mothers. I did a show some time ago, and it talked about how there are so many mothers. These psychologists are saying there are a lot of mothers who just have this rage that comes out of nowhere. Their 3-year-old spilled milk. You know, how many 3-year-olds have spilled milk? So what? But the women go into a rage about that. And the women say they regret it, and they can't stop it, and they don't know why they do it. So that brings up a question. Is hip hop, and this is an ugly way to put it. Is hip hop, is it a mental health problem that is being projected by people with mental health problems? So making songs about how the opposite sex is worthless to you, songs about promoting drugs and alcohol, violence. So I'm gonna open up an article about DMX, but people have to understand your brain records everything, man. Even if you're walking down the street and just some conversation you're walking by and you hear, your brain recorded it. They have proved that if you're unconscious, if you're unconscious from a car accident, everything that the EMS people say around you, your brain records it. If you're on an operating table and they put you out, put you to sleep, or even in a dentist, but if you're getting an operation, surgery, and you're out cold, your brain records everything and actually responds to it. So imagine you're not knocked out. You're fully awake and you're hearing music that's almost like implants. It's implanting violence. It's implanting drug addiction. It's implanting diminishing the opposite sex, or even diminishing other men or women. Hey, thanks, SW. So, I get that. I get that, if you're born into a certain kind of music at a young age, that music represents your youth, your freedom, and a lot of good feelings. Except we have to start taking a step back and looking at the mental health and what's the impact of music on mental health. What's going on, kosher clinician? if you want to jump in on this, kosher clinician, I think we could have a good dialogue about this, because I'm concerned about how hip hop is impacting the mental health of men in the US. You could even say around the world. I just dropped a link, but I want to share an article about DMX. Here we go. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics of his music, is this promoting power? You know, I know we have sports like football, and we have boxing, MMA, and we watch that as entertainment, right? And still that influences us, right? That affects us. When it becomes like the music, the lifestyle, uh, people start to look up to. If you start looking up to someone who is suffering from mental health, how does that affect you? What kind of person does that turn you into? What's going on, Warring? Talking about, does hip hop promote poor mental health for men? And, there are all kinds of platforms to talk about the mental health of women. I don't know if there are enough to talk about the mental health of men. And specifically, the impact of music on a man's mental health. So how are we dealing with this? Or are we? Are we dealing with it? Are we even talking about it? Do people understand how the brain records everything? So sorry about this, guys. I just wanted to look at, and many of you may have already seen this. Looks like this article changed. This article must be changing by the minute. They've put in updates. So, so, mental health, right? So having children by a bunch of different women. DMX has 15 children. He has 4 children with Tashira Simmons, and 11 children with other women. I mean, is that healthy? Do you guys, how many young boys look at that and see that as it's okay? Like, you can be successful. You can just make a bunch of children, and you may or may not even care about those kids. Yeah, they changed this article from when I first looked at it. So how many other hip hop artists have been in the same path as DMX? So DMX talked about how his father really had nothing to do with him. Just walked. He said his father came around when he wanted to sell some art. So as fathers, how do fathers feel about putting constraints on the kind of music your children can listen to? I went to college with a guy who wouldn't allow his children to listen to hip hop at all. It wasn't allowed in the house. All right, this is what I was looking for. Who are DMX's parents? DMX's parents are Arnett Simmons and Joe Barker. Arnett gave birth to DMX when she was just 19 years old. At the time he was born, she already had a 2-year-old daughter, Bonita, and shortly after, another daughter called Shayla. So his mother had a child at 17 years old. DMX's father was 18 at the time of his birth and reportedly did not want to be involved in his son's life. In 2019, DMX, told GQ how his mom beat 2 teeth out of my fucking mouth with a broom when he was just 6 in a bombshell in an interview. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, what can a 6-year-old boy do that you beat him so bad that you knock teeth out of his mouth? Now, if you tell me that has no long-term mental health impact on a child, so is hip hop promoting drugs? Is it promoting single motherhood? Is it promoting men making babies? Like DMX has made children with several women. So what happens when you have a father like DMX's who doesn't want to be involved and the mother is left to handle the whole thing on her own? And she has a boy. DMX said he had 4 sisters. He was the only boy. I think he said somewhere in here that he didn't think his mother knew what to do with him. They said when he was older, things did not improve as he got older. He was expelled for fighting and hurling chairs at teachers at 10, and then booked for arson and assault. I mean, he was, you could say, out of control. But at 6 years old, to have your teeth knocked out, I mean, you've got to get the mental health impact on that. And a lot of guys never address the mental health challenges, and drugs, alcohol, violence can be one of the ways that it's projected out into the world. In drugs, man, even alcohol, it's a suicide mission. Right? We need to look at drug addiction, alcohol addiction as suicide missions. So that's the person who's not going to pull the trigger and just blow their brains out. They're going to do a slow death. It's still the death. This article goes on and says at that point, when he was booked for arson and assault, at that point, DMX was sent to Julia Dykeman. Julia Dykeman Andrus Memorial Children's Home in Yonkers for 18 months, just 20 minutes away from his mother and sisters. According to Ralph Basui Watkins' book, Hip Hop Redemption, Finding God in the Rhythm and Rhyme, the embattled youngster was then kicked out for starting a fire with a roommate. So he was kind of unstoppable, right? So this guy, maybe in some ways you could say he had this power that without a man to give him the discipline and direction, it consumed him. And as we see, it killed him. This article goes on, after returning home to his mother's house, DMX would often run away to escape her alleged abuse and boyfriends to sleep in Salvation Army clothing bins. Like, you got to get that, man. There's an impact on this. In the emotional song Slippin', DMX says, group homes and institutions prepared my ass for jail. They put me in a situation forcing me to be a man. See, I'm concerned about that. They put you in a position to force you to be a man. See, the idea of manhood, I think, is really skewed. And if boys grow up with this kind of abuse and mental health, their whole idea of being a man, jail, sleeping in bins, I mean, group homes, institutions, and to think that is preparing you for manhood. And it goes on to say, he said, when I was just learning to stand without a helping hand, right? So group homes and institutions prepare my ass for jail. They put me in a situation forcing me to be a man when I was just learning to stand without a helping hand. There's so many men who misconstrue manhood for this. And how many guys, by believing this is manhood, may even create a situation that has their parents respond to them in a way DMX's did. And it becomes what you call a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, in 2009, he said, 2009 rap also mentions how there would be no more getting high drinking 40s because he had a son. Well, clearly he didn't keep his word. So, you know, when you grow up in that environment, integrity is not even an afterthought. So, hey guys, smash that like button when you come in. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel. But so my real concern is that a lot of hip hop artists are especially men are representing themselves as manhood. They're tough. I've got a gun. I've got a 40. I'm fearless. I've been to jail. I've been a drug dealer. Like all these things that have been made synonymous with manhood, and they're really not. And they can brag about having children with a lot of different women. You know, all of these things are creating, one, a false sense of manhood, and two, there's a trauma. There's a level of trauma, emotional trauma that's happening. That's not even counting the physical trauma a lot of these guys may be experiencing. And as a man, you know, this is even more important for us to teach our sons to protect their seed, because the last thing you want to do is plant your seed in a woman who's going to abuse your child. I mean, this guy DMX is 50 years old. You know, in today's world of technology and healthcare, 50 is very young. I know this is an extreme case, but wasn't there a football player who was still in the NFL at 50 or late 40s? So 50 is still really young. And to die from drugs, and it shuts your body down. So is it time to either abandon hip hop or demand that hip hop transform itself? So human beings only continue doing the same thing if it works, right? If there's a reward for it. So a lot of guys complain that women are gold diggers and they only want one thing. They want money from a guy. Well, hell, it works. If every guy said, sort of stonewalled that and said, hey, you get nothing from me, women would stop because it would be a dead end. So hip hop artists can only continue on this path because they are rewarded for it. They're rewarded to brag about what they believe manhood to be. They are rewarded to brag about violence, to brag about having kids with different women, a badge of honor. And if your children are hearing this, you have to understand that everything children hear is like almost being an implant into their brain. It's part of their whole thinking process. It gets ingrained in there and they don't even realize it. That's why advertisers spend millions of dollars to repeat ads over and over and over again so that it becomes part of your decision-making process when you go into the grocery store. Well, music has the same impact. Music. So as men, what is the one responsibility that we take for our own mental health? Two, how do we promote mental health for our boys who are growing up in an environment where they are exposed to all this information overwhelm? Three, how do we foster mental health in our boys? Four, how do we make sure they don't grow up in an environment that is ripe for emotional trauma, right? Being raised in a single parent home. I'm not going to justify it for women, but if you've got a single mother and she has to work, even if she's on welfare, she's dealing with a lot, especially if she has a boy and doesn't really, she grew up in a house. If she didn't grow up with a father, she kind of has no clue what to do with a boy. And she may try to suppress him and keep him quiet, and he's just not. In DMX's cases, he just wasn't. So, is it time for us to start to look at hip hop as a self perpetuating catalyst for poor mental health? And it's like it's a trap. As much as I know people want to say, yeah, hip hop culture and that's our culture and we love the music, is it really a self-perpetuating trap for poor mental health? And as long as you are in that culture, you cannot escape it. Like it's the gerbil on the wheel. The more you enjoy it, the deeper you go down into the rabbit hole. And unless you're willing to do the work, there's no escape. So is it time? And I know this is a conversation that people don't want to have because they have so many positive emotions attached to hip hop. But that's another thing to look at. Imagine that's kind of like a BDSM in some ways, right? So imagine you're getting fulfilling emotions from something that's promoting poor mental health. The way our brains work, they literally can reward us with dopamine, with good feeling biochemicals when we do things that sabotage us or we lack conflict resolution skills, right? Which is a huge. These are indicators. Hip hop is indicating that instead of developing conflict resolution skills, negotiation, more effective communication, it goes just in the opposite direction and then plays victim and says, I can't help it. And this may not be a conversation that anyone wants to have, but perhaps it's well overdue. Maybe it's decades overdue. And until the public demands that hip hop does something else, or they just turn their back on it, it's going to be self-perpetuating into this downward spiral. And where the bottom is, no one knows, or it's a bottomless pit. And if you go far enough, you never get out. And DMX's life may be the example of what happens when you go down far enough into this bottom, into this pit, this downward spiral of poor mental health. Now, I started this video talking about women who earn high incomes are using heroin. They're the fastest growing segment of heroin users in the US. Clearly, there's some mental health going on. Women who earn high incomes most likely have jobs that are require power, responsibility, what people would call pressure, and perhaps they're not dealing with it very well. So heroin becomes an escape. So I get that people talk about LeBron James and they talk about some of the hip hop artists who have built companies and created jobs. For some reason, none of them are going into places like Baltimore and the South Side of Chicago and Newark, New Jersey. They're not coming in and reclaiming those neighborhoods and building them up. People just sit around and talk about gentrification and how some outsider comes in and cleans up the neighborhood and everything. Oh, it just changes in a very short time period. The hip hop artists have made enough money to do that. They're not obligated to do that, but it would be a way of promoting a healthier mindset. So are hip hop artists exploiting people based on the social challenges of today? Or are they causing them? Or is it something that's happening at the same time, right? One is not causing the other. They are just working like a dance. And it's a dance that's just driving deeper into more mental health challenges. I'm not saying you have to have answers. Perhaps the questions can be more powerful than the answer. So I'm asking questions that perhaps our society doesn't want to answer. Red Pill Ghost, you wanted to
Hey,
join.
salute,
What's
my
going
man.
on? How
Hey,
are you,
salute.
man? Thanks for joining me.
Hey, I'm a big fan of your channel and stuff because I referred to you by I think it was just Red Pill. I think it was the Rican guy, Red
Oh,
Pill Rican.
Puerto Rican. Sure, sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
do a few shows with him. Yeah.
Your channel
How are you?
has helped me out so much and stuff because I'm only like 18 and stuff. I just finished high school and stuff actually, and the female nature out there, it's just like it's just just open my eyes, so I do like I'm appreciate the help and stuff, so I do
Oh,
like
you're
appreciate the help
welcome.
and stuff. I mean,
Thank
like, I got for like just me and stuff, I got like a long just way to go in life, but I do like I'm appreciate this the 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 studies and stuff that you like presented and stuff in your live streams and stuff, so I do
you.
like appreciate it.
Thank you. So you're like a perfect age for this conversation, man. So
Yeah, sure.
you were
I love
born into the hip hop world, right? So that's what you know, right? And maybe you've heard music
I
or
have actually.
culture
Yeah.
of your parents, except what your people in your age group are, hip hop culture, and it's
Yeah, yeah.
I'm concerned about what's all the things that are attached to hip hop culture.
I mean, like, okay, so from like just what I've uh seen and stuff, like from my high school, I'm like experience and stuff is that a lot of the hip hop songs and stuff they like influence drugs and just um alcohol, uh sex and etc. And like with that influence and stuff, I feel like a lot of like females and stuff are just like crazy out there. You know what I'm saying by that?
Yeah, people who say they belong to the streets and they get sucked into the streets and never escape.
Yeah. Um, I'm from California and stuff, and I see it like um all the time and stuff. I feel like just men out here, they lose their purpose and stuff out here. Actually, um, I had a couple of friends in high school and stuff that were like influenced, by the hip hop culture, you know,
Tell me,
drugs.
tell me why you say they were influenced by the hip hop culture. Why do you think that?
Um, they just like wanting to fit in and stuff. To the I mean like the society and stuff. I mean like they like like just dress like like a rapper and stuff. You know what I'm saying by that? They
Right,
they
right.
dress like a rapper and stuff, and all they want to do is smoke and drink and party and stuff, and hook up with the females and stuff, and eventually, I mean, like they dropped out and they lost their purpose. I mean, I've seen it happen. I mean, I lost a lot of friends because of that. So it's tough to see that. It's really tough.
So what do you what are your plans after high school?
Um, well, I'm a my plans are to I got accepted to a college and stuff in Southern California and stuff, and I plan to do pre-medicine actually.
Cool. Very good.
And yeah, I mean, like I wasn't like the smartest. I'm in high school and stuff, but I had to like change my just way of life, and I gotta find my purpose. Because as men, like you know, we need to find our purpose in life, our like ideal career, and the red pill, and like like just stay um stay like aware and stuff, of
Yeah.
what's going on.
Did you grow up? You have both parents at home?
Both parents.
Both parents. And your
Yes,
friend
sir.
who you said got caught up, did they have both parents, all of them, or a mix?
uh Single mother, and single mother pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So
Majority of my friends, yeah.
you see the importance of that?
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like like just having like both of the parents and stuff is the foundation of life. I mean, like they like will teach you the morals and the you know ethics and stuff. Of like what like just life is about.
Good, good, good. And are you planning to be just a medical doctor? You want to have a specialty like a surgeon, or what are your thoughts?
Uh, Pediatrics
Yeah,
and
good.
or radiation, just oncology. So
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
yeah, but all I can say is that like to the subscribers, and just out there and stuff, like just like like just be more like aware and stuff, of the females and stuff, because I almost got caught up at 16 and stuff actually, because my like ex at that time, she tried to trap me as at 16 years old, and said that she didn't take birth control and stuff, and like she fucking lied about it for about 2 weeks, and then um like 2 weeks later, she said like oh, I'm just messing with you and stuff, and then I became like just more like aware of the red pill and stuff, because a lot of these females and stuff, they just like just want to like just manipulate you, and
Right.
they want you to plant the seed, and it's game over. Yeah.
My brother lives in LA, and he was telling me he met a woman through a mutual friend, and the woman met him the first time and asked my brother, "Will you get me pregnant? Uh, because I want to collect welfare." She said, "Don't worry, you won't have to pay child support." And she said she would fill out all these forms, and my brother said, "No, are you crazy?" No.
Yeah.
So that and that woman was I think she was 19 or 20. This was like a couple of years ago. My brother's much older than that. So you understand the need for a man to be responsible for his own seed and practice safe sex.
Yes, sir.
Don't get a
Yeah.
woman pregnant. I mean, do you really understand this?
Yes, sir. I mean, I learned my lesson at 16, and I'm never gonna let that happen again. I mean, I learned my mistake at that time, and I never got her pregnant though. But like, like the mindset of her, like like was me to plant the seed. But the problem is, she was just joking with me and stuff. But yeah, but I learned my lesson. No, I'm in life. So that's a good thing right there. And I'm more like like just awake and stuff. With the red pill, like and just movement and stuff, and the MGTOW. So I'm
So
aware.
so look, a lot of women are being influenced not just by music, the movies. You have
Yes,
feminists
sir.
telling women they can run the streets, and because they think that's what manhood is. And so even women who are getting educated are making poor decisions about men because they think they're doing what men do. So for you, do you understand how important it is for you to understand what kind of woman is compatible with you?
Yeah. Yes.
Go ahead.
And yeah, I mean, I gotta what you said and stuff is that I need to be more I'm aware of like of the of of the females and stuff, and I need to stay on my purpose and stuff, because
Right.
like um yeah, I mean like for like my education standpoint and stuff, I mean like for the next 12 years I'm gonna be in school,
Right.
you know I have to go through 4 years of my just undergrad,
Correct.
uh 4 years of my MD program, and 4 years of just residency and stuff. So
Exactly.
I'm aware of it, and I'm like willing to just make the sacrifices and stuff, to stay on the purpose, and just be just red pill and stuff,
Okay. So how are you going to deal with women? Because women are going. Some women are going to see you as a retirement package, right? That you have.
Oh yeah, the high value man and stuff. I
Right.
like the kind of like the Kevin um I forgot his name. I think it's
Samuels.
Kevin Samuels. Kind of like the reference to that right there.
Right.
Um yeah, I mean like how okay, so how am I gonna deal with it and stuff for the next 12 years? I'm gonna like okay, so I'm gonna like have to stay, you know, just stoic and stuff, you know, and just unemotional and you know just do my thing, you know.
And women will approach you, right? You understand that.
Yeah,
Women,
I know that, sir. I know that,
there
sir.
are women who go to med school not to be doctors. They go to med school to marry a doctor.
Yeah, I know that right there.
I have a,
Um,
I have a cousin who did that. He was successful. She lost, she ended up with a divorce, but she went to med school to find a doctor, and she did exactly that.
yeah. Um, I've seen, I've seen like you know, friends in like college and stuff. They like ruin their lives and stuff because like I mean the female and stuff like they messed up and they planted a seed and they have to pay the child support and stuff and they tell me and stuff, you know, it's just the biggest, you know, and just regret I'm in my life, you know.
Yeah, man, you get one life, and
Yeah.
yeah. So let me ask you. So how do you manage this? You are a growing part of a growing generation that is
Yeah.
completely immersed in the hip hop world that promotes kind of the opposite of what you're talking about doing. Uh, how do you keep your mind, your head clear from being influenced by that?
Okay. What I do is I develop skills and hobbies and stuff and like, you know, um for example and stuff, I've been like, you know, just working out
Good.
4 to 5 times a week. I've been like, you know, just I've been like, you know, just studying uh pharmacology and stuff, you know, ahead and stuff, you know.
Good.
Um I've been I developed a uh a tutoring job and stuff, especially like during this
Pandemic.
pandemic, and I've been studying on just real estate also.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you planning to get a real estate license?
Well, I plan on like I'm investing like, you know, housing and stuff. I want to have like I mean at least a couple sources of, you know, just income and stuff, you know, to support myself through college and, you know, and just
What,
medical school.
you mind if I ask you, what do your parents do
My parents. Um,
profession,
okay.
career wise?
Uh, okay, so they're both uh, PAs.
Physician assistants?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, both of them. What
Yeah.
are you an only child?
I'm not the only child.
So did your mother ever stay home and not work, be a stay-at-home mom for a while or no?
I'm. I mean, both of my parents. They're you know they're busy people and stuff. And after high school and stuff, I had to like, you know, just move out pretty much. Um, like because I want to be like just independent stuff, and I decided to leave the house and just have an apartment of my own.
So you have a job and an apartment at 18.
Yeah.
Interesting. And you're going to go to school from where you are, or you have to move to go to school?
Uh, my s- my school is local and stuff. It's about um 10 minutes away.
Okay. All right. Good. Good. I left home at 19. So
Really?
yeah,
Oh wow, that's crazy.
yeah, yeah. Interesting. So you're doing a lot of things to keep your head straight. You've
Yeah.
like you shed a lot of friends who went into an unhealthy direction. Yes.
Yes, sir. I'll be straightforward and stuff, but I mean, I'm pretty much like a lone wolf right now, so pretty much a lone wolf, but I'm happy and stuff, just with my life right now, and I wanna stay on my purpose and stuff, and like like just be like just red pilled.
Listen, that's good. There's some merit to being a lone wolf, except if you ever want to accomplish anything great, uh,
Yeah.
you need a network. And so college is a great place to build networks. You're going to meet a lot of people who have things in common with you.
Yes, sir.
This is an opportunity for you to build networks with other men, whether it's to build a business or uh, to grow your business or to get a job, whatever you path you go down.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
do not do not sidestep everyone just to say you're a lone wolf. You got that?
Yes, sir.
Networks,
Um,
they're
yeah.
really important in life.
Social, like, just networking and stuff. Yeah.
Well, anyone. So I've done a lot of work with CEOs, and all of those people have great networks. They can pick up the phone and call people, whether it's for a favor, or they're looking to hire someone, or they're looking for a partner, they're looking for investors. That's what your network allows you to accomplish things, because no one person does everything. There's value in being a lone wolf, but a pack of wolves can take down a much bigger animal than a lone wolf. You get that, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I know what you're saying by that.
Just
And
choose.
also,
Go ahead. Also, what?
yeah. I mean, like, I feel like, networking is, it's important, because I mean, you have to build just relationships, like with other peers and stuff, and you know, try to be better. So,
But and if you ever do, you want to have children?
do I want to have um oh okay, well, that's a direct question, but not in the future. No.
No. Okay. Well, if you ever do, or you ever decide you want to take a woman seriously and you find her compatible, one of the things every man has a right to do, especially successful men,
Yeah.
is you demand that she has a network. So it's important. This makes it important for a woman to come from a two-parent household, because every woman will inherit the network of her parents. Like, her parents has friends, and she should be able to tap into that. Uh, and whether
Yeah.
she goes to college or goes straight to the workforce, whatever she does,
Yeah.
she needs to be the kind of person who can talk to people, meet them, create great relationships, and be able to open doors for you. And women who think they don't have to do that, that they can just sit there and be pretty and say man is supposed to provide all these things,
Yeah.
uh, she's barking up the wrong tree, and she makes herself a piece of ass if she doesn't. I
Yeah.
really, like,
It's
the
true. It's
guys
true.
who are really successful, they have wives who do a great job at networking. Have you ever heard of a guy named Grant Cardone?
Grant Cardone. He's the billionaire, right?
Yes.
On YouTube. I seen his videos actually. Cause I was thinking stuff of like, just investing like, in like, Bitcoin or, just real estate. So
Well, so I know someone who asked Grant Cardone, how important is it for your, he was talking about his wife, and the person asked, how important is it for your wife to have a good network? He said, oh my God. He said the last recession in 2009, he said, if it wasn't for my wife's ability to network, I would have never been as successful as I was during that recession. He said,
I'll,
my wife built such a powerful network that it opened an enormous amount of doors. So people, a lot of guys think that they're just being lone wolves out there and doing it on their own. A woman can be an asset, but she has to understand she's working for you, she's networking, and she's supporting you to build whatever it is you need. And like I said, she needs to be able to have a network from both her parents and be able to open doors and willing to open those doors, introduce you to people, and then out there intentionally supporting your purpose by creating networks that can allow you to further your ambitions.
yeah. Yeah, that's all true right there. I mean, a lot of the females on these days I noticed while, going through my 4 years of, just high school and stuff and like, just outside and stuff, I noticed that a lot of these pretty females, they don't got any personality and stuff or no social skills. And it's sad to see, but I mean a lot of these females and stuff, they think like, everything's all like, just handed to them pretty much, right?
Right.
Everything. And I learned that like after like my ex-girlfriend stuff, and like, I decided to like, kind of like, just invest my time in
Right.
like I'm into, studying the female nature and the red pill movement, and and the psychology and stuff of, human nature and stuff. So
Good. 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 So the most effective way to be able to understand where a woman is coming from is to understand yourself.
yeah,
So when you master yourself, it becomes much easier for you to understand other people. So when you
yeah,
take care of your own mental health, and we're talking about mental health in the hip hop world, I'm asserting that hip hop doesn't promote powerful and strong mental health. It's doing just the opposite. So it sounds like you are building a powerhouse of physical and mental health, and you have a career direction, you have ambitions.
yeah. I mean, I can say this, but I mean, like, I've been through like a lot in life and stuff, because I used to like, just actually have like a stuttering problem and stuff, and I told myself and stuff I needed like, just get out of it. And I noticed that as I network and stuff, like my stuttering stuff started to, go away and stuff. So
Good.
um and like, especially with stuttering stuff, it's just like, it's actually tough and stuff, you know I remember times in high school and stuff where I got like, and just made fun of and stuff, but I didn't care,
Right.
I didn't care because, all that mattered to me and stuff is I need to like, and just make the honor roll and stuff. And like, I play the sport on the side too. I was a basketball player also, so I was a
Oh,
basketball player.
good. Are you familiar with something called Toastmasters?
I'm not.
Okay, so Google Toastmasters. You're in California, there should be something near you. And Toastmasters is an organization that's all about public speaking. So it's a place. They have events. I don't know if it's all. I assume it would be virtual now. But Toastmasters can help you master public speaking.
Okay. Um, I searched it up, just right now actually, and
Okay,
I see it's all, just virtual and stuff, just right now and stuff,
perfect.
Oh, with the um yeah, but I mean, like, all I can say is that, as, and just men and stuff, we have to, just resolve, like our, like, just issues, and, just, um get our finances right, because at at 16 and stuff, I was just like, building my credit and stuff, it's gonna help me out a lot in the future if I want to, purchase a property, or,
Right.
yeah.
And what are you looking to do? How are you planning to flip houses? Or are you looking to invest in rental property? What are you looking to do?
Invest in, like, just rental uh properties and stuff. I mean, yeah.
And
And maybe flip some houses and stuff, but I need to, like, just do more research and stuff on it.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. I just hold 1 second. Hey, Lando, I see you in the house. Uh, Lando is is a little bit older than you. I think he's 22. So I always love to see when the younger generation is listening in and looking to gain knowledge on self and female nature.
Yeah, I mean, as like a 18-year-old fucking, just man and stuff, I need to, like, just like be more self-aware, and, of my surroundings and stuff, and, like Awai said, just focus on the goal and the purpose, and have, I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And look, something else to help you with effective speaking. It's called mirror work, like mirror, mirror on the
Okay.
wall. Are you familiar with mirror work?
Is it like, speaking to yourself and stuff, like
Yep,
through like a mirror or something like that,
yep,
or
yep. So you get a mirror in your house and you get right up, like you get inches from it. You stare yourself directly in the eyes and you speak. You get comfortable with, you say a few sentences, you make a
yeah,
major point, and then boom, silence. Where you still stand there and you look at yourself and you watch your body language. You make sure that your hands are not fidgety and you're not moving all around, and you can keep your hands at your side. And you learn to project your voice and you make complete eye contact with yourself. It supports you being a more powerful speaker. It's very good, very effective.
um okay, that helps out a lot, but okay, so for your working stuff, are you do you work in like the uh finances, or like, just real estate, or
So when I work in any financial capacity, it's always in a corporate environment.
it's a
So
corporate environment?
yeah, it's always in working with CEOs and in the finances of projects and margins and costs and all those kinds of things. So now,
You don't have like, yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, but you don't like have like a wife or anything, or like, children or no?
No children, no wife. I never married. I lived with one woman for 5 years when I lived in DC, and I lived with another woman for 3 years here I live in New Jersey.
Oh, Jersey. Okay.
But
That's what's
I never married either one of them. They anticipated that we would have it, but I just did not.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I know that like, especially like on this pandemic and stuff, the the percentage of, just couples and stuff are like, like the divorce rates are going up actually. I saw like a study and stuff actually,
Right.
based around that. Yeah, because I feel like a lot of the females and stuff like they want better and stuff. They want like a better husband. Like with like more money, uh, bigger house, and etc.
Yeah. Lots of women believe they deserve all these things. But the biggest challenge is women don't understand how to be an asset to a man. They just somehow the whole idea of women playing a role went out the window because feminists told them it was sexist for a man to expect a woman to play a role. So a lot of women are having a rude awakening now, and
Yeah,
there are many women who just file for divorce and they take the guy to the cleaners. But women who are not getting married are finding out that they were lied to, and I'm not sure if some of them are willing to admit they were lied to. So it's creating a dilemma for a lot of women, and perhaps the pandemic isolating people has kind of been a cold shower. So some women have waken up,
yeah,
but I don't know if they've fully waken up. They are there are women who are telling younger women that you can finesse men. All you have to do is act feminine, dress nice, say this, stop saying that. But they don't help the women transform and become better women. They just help them uh, to have slick lines and say things that men just tell men what they want to hear. Basically, is what they're doing. So that's becoming a problem.
yeah. And also like especially like during this pandemic and stuff, I noticed that a lot of my friends and stuff I had in the past, like they're just like simping and stuff, and like just acting like just beta males, because I recently I just cut off a friend and stuff that was like simping and stuff, and like the guy was being like beta male and stuff. And the story was that like he was actually uh talking to this female and stuff from 10 p.m. to like just 8 a.m. and 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 the very next morning and stuff, like with like just no sleep at all. He bakes her sourdough bread and drives 45 minutes to her house and stuff, and and like just when he told me that just uh over the phone and stuff, I had to cut him off because of that. I was just so disgusted. I was like, yo, what the heck you doing, man? What's your opinion on that, Mr. Santos? I mean, like, just
And he baked her bread and drove over there.
he was on the phone with her for 10 straight hours. I'm just like, yo, what the heck are you doing,
That's
man?
a long time. With the whole baking the bread, that was what women would do for a man back in the day. She would bake him bread and then come bring it over.
Oh man.
So men have allowed the role reversal, and there are
Yeah.
many men playing the woman's role.
Yeah, and some part of me felt, just bad for cutting him, just cutting him off and stuff, but I don't feel bad anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying by that? I don't
Right.
really. No, if you're in my situation and stuff, like you wouldn't feel bad at all, right? Like, just
Look,
cutting
look,
them off.
some people you cut off, uh, and other people you understand the limits of your interactions with them, right? So,
Yeah,
um, yeah, I mean, so you can't tell another person what to do with their life. You can make suggestions. You can have conversations with them about what's happening and help them more clearly
yeah,
see things. And so maybe that has to happen more often with guys to like sit down and say, "Hey, man, let me have a conversation with you." You could say,
yeah,
I do that often with my live streams. Sometimes guys don't like the things that I say, and we have back and forth, and they understand what I'm saying, and they
yeah,
what I'm talking about is unrealistic, and it can never happen because men will never unite. So I guess where my caution is if men don't ever sit down and align on some kind of movement uh, to enforce change in our society, it's not going to happen with 20 million lone wolves.
yeah. I know what you're saying by that and stuff, but I mean, I had to, just cut him off, like for like, just a couple reasons. I mean, you know, um, he was the snitch of the group, so like, I mean, he
Wow.
was this. I mean, the guy was just the snitch of the group. I mean, the guy like, he's like a nosy person. The guy wants to know like, just a lot of personal things and stuff of mine and stuff, and he told it to like, other people and stuff. So I had my just
Well,
limit and stuff, and I had
right.
to cut him off.
Now you're
Yeah.
talking about a guy who doesn't have integrity, and
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Yeah, the guy like has no just integrity, and the guy's a beta male. He's a beta male still with the sourdough bread situation. I was just like, man, come on, you don't have to do that. But I mean, I had to do like just what's best for me and stuff, and I feel so much better, because the guy was just toxic, and he was just doing this ignorant stuff, like with like just no integrity from what you said. So,
So did he grow up in a two-parent household?
huh?
Did he grow up in a two-parent household?
He did actually, but I mean, his dad, like, I mean, he didn't really teach him anything.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not trying to like, just be mean and stuff on here, but I might as well just say it because, I mean, but yeah, I mean, like, he was never taught and stuff, and just like how to do like how do I say this while just being like you're just mean and stuff. He never put on deodorant and stuff, and the guy never took showers, and
Well, that's
yeah,
yeah, personal
yeah,
hygiene, right? Yeah, that in the end that can bite you, right? Especially if you're networking with other people.
yeah. Oh my God, for real. And also like his character and stuff, I mean, like it, it's just like horrible and stuff, because you know, the guy's a nosy person. The guy likes to spread, just gossip and stuff about just other people, and he used to like text me like just all the time to hang out with him. Uh, and like what I said and stuff. I just got just I just got sick and tired of it, and yeah, because I want to stay on my purpose and stuff, and
So here's the question: So you said you're a lone wolf, and you're aware of female nature. You had your own personal experience. You grew up in a
yes,
two-parent
sir. Yeah.
household, and you study things about psychology, and you're committed to being self-aware. How do you get other guys your age, around your age, to get where you are? I mean, do you have conversations with other men your age to
Um.
support them to develop themselves and to be where you are? Do you do that?
Um. Do I do that? I mean, of like right now, just no, but I learned my just. I mean, I talk to just older people and stuff about like about like the news and like just like kind of like kind of like like just scenarios and stuff of like how they like kind of like just they messed up in the past with their marriages and stuff, and they like just gave me like advice and stuff like to be self-aware.
Good, good. Okay, good, good.
And yeah, because I used to like go to the coffee shop and stuff to study all the time, and like I talked to like a bunch of
Older.
40 to 50-year-olds, for
Right.
the yeah, and like and I noticed they give just great advice and stuff,
Good.
but yeah, I mean, I try to like I think like I matured at like a young age or something, like a 16 or like 17,
Yep.
and
Sounds like it. And in your age, it's going to require leadership at the male level, at a men's level, uh,
yeah,
to help guys make better decisions so that they don't repeat the history that's happened over the past several decades.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, I feel like as men, we moved on from the past and stuff, because I mean, like, like, like we have like just all made just mistakes in the past, and I personally just moved on from it, and I want to improve my speaking skills and my networking and stuff. Yeah,
So one of the things that is going to happen is men can no longer be afraid to put demands on women and say,
yeah,
these are my demands, you meet them or you walk. Or I walk like this. You can't just come to the table with your hand out and think that you're pretty and work your average looking women who believe they are, gorgeous women, and they're just not, and they're making these demands. So it's going to require that men put their foot down and say, hey, these are the boundaries. And if you don't like it, hell, if the women don't like it, let them pack up and move to their own island and show how great they are and build their own civilization.
yeah, yeah. Because I watched like a Kevin Kevin Samuels clip and stuff where on this I think this female stuff was like in her uh in her 30s and stuff, and I think she had a son and stuff, and like she she wanted like a high value man and stuff, but Kevin Samuel said, oh no, you're gonna die alone." Have you seen the clip and stuff? Or
Right, right. So, a guy like you finish med school, you do your residency, and you do all that, and you're a pediatrician, and you've done all the right things. You have no children out there. You've made some investments. You're not, you're in a position to be. If you took loans, you can pay off your loans, and you're in a
Yeah,
good position. A lot of women will feel like they deserve you because they'll feel that you're a payday, right? You have finances behind you that they can live off of. Even if she has a job, she may feel like, well, you make enough money to pay all the bills. So there are women who believe that, and some of those women will be average or below average in expecting. Uh, I hate to say it this way, they expect to get the same thing that a woman who is just drop dead gorgeous,
yeah,
naturally, without makeup, without wigs or weaves or any of that. No fancy.
yeah, for sure.
There are women like that, but
Yeah, there are.
the woman who deserves that is, like I said, she needs to come to the table with a network. Because when a woman starts to share her network, she's now investing in you, and she can't screw up that relationship. She can, but the last thing she wants to do is introduce you to her parents' network or her valuable network, and then she screws up your head, which then screws up her network. So, women have to have an invested interest in a man. They need to put some skin in the game, and a lot of women are not doing that. So, and I think a lot of guys don't understand that because not too many men are saying these are the demands you can put on a woman: stay healthy, keep your body fit, be attractive, uh, know how to resolve conflict. Don't go, just crazy screaming every time you
Yeah,
get away and throw a temper tantrum. That doesn't work. Learn how to communicate. So uh,
yeah.
men have a right to make those demands of women.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like like what else? Like, was I gonna say and stuff? But oh yeah, like just relating to that, the beta males and stuff. It's just like, I feel like a lot of guys out here, here in California stuff, like they're just too thirsty, and they're like, like just not on their purpose. And I see it like just all the time still, because those old high school friends of mine, like, they bought just OnlyFans accounts, and I'm like, yo, what the heck are you guys doing? It's a like it's a waste of your money and stuff. So
Yeah, that's a whole nother problem that OnlyFans.
only Sims, I call it just only Sims. I call it only Sims.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um,
And
well,
yeah,
hey, hold on. Just shout out. I see a few people join me on Instagram. Eugene, Red Pill Awareness. Quite a few people. What's going on, Eugene? How are you? Oh, cool, man. You're in you're. Oh, sorry to hear that, man.
It's my ex-wife thing. It's no big deal, really.
Okay.
How you doing?
All right. I'm speaking to. I'm live streaming on YouTube with a gentleman who's 18 years old, and he's getting himself on the right track, man. About to go to med school.
Let me get outside where it's more quiet. Excuse me.
Okay.
I can smoke. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I wasn't ready. Oh shit. I'm back in Freehold, by the way. But I can't tell you where I am. Anyway, how are you, Ted? I spoke to Michael last night, but the 18-year-old gentleman, let me give him some advice.
Hey, hold on. Can you hear Red Pill?
I can.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
Eugene?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. I can hear him.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Eugene.
Listen, treat them like the princess they deserve to be treated. Give them everything you can possibly give them. Your body, your soul. Tell them you'll be their slave. And you give everything you got. Give everything you can. You eventually surrender. Even if they hate you in the beginning, if you just keep wearing them down by keep giving and giving and giving. And the more you give, the more you get. Eventually, they just give up. And you got them. That's how you do it. I'm 56 years old.
Wait a second. So is that what you did with your ex-wife?
Well, this.
Put me back in jail. Which is why I'm back where I'm at. So I go to court on Monday.
And so, and so you think if you could do it all over again with that same woman,
do everything the same. You know why? There's all those things that happen bad. Being in a cage, being treated like an animal, reading all those books. I had this whole thing being abusive to her, my children. He's making like 80 people victims, maybe more. Getting arrested 36 times in 28 days. It's almost impossible to do.
You were busy, man.
Getting arrested 2-3 times a day.
Hey, hold on.
The man that I am today, standing here, I would have to do it all over again. Because thank God I survived. My brother said the other day, you used up all your 9 lives and somebody else's 9 lives, which is true. I've been through a lot. I've been everywhere from a millionaire to a homeless person, to a millionaire, to a homeless person, to a caged animal, and back again.
Okay, got it.
I've rolled out from underneath the rock so many times, Ted.
So
there's no place else to go.
You're looking great, man. You're looking great. But let me just say this: the idea of just giving women what they want. A lot of women will take you into they'll take you in a divorce court, man, and
yeah, that's not great advice right there. Oh my god. Oh man, so I think he's being sarcastic. I think he's being sarcastic, or I'm not really sure.
So no leases. Any bitch that's asking for money all the time, or I need this all the time, or I need that all the time, that's a leech. Get rid of the leech.
okay.
Take it off your skin. Throw it in some salt. Eat it if you want to. They're pretty fucking good when they're raw.
Oh man.
And they're really good protein, but no leashes. Don't let the woman be a leech. Now, if you find a really good woman, then every time you ask her if she needs anything, she says no. And once in a while, she'll say, yes, can you do this for me? Would you do that for me? Then you do everything she asks you to do. Then eventually she just surrenders. That's it. And you get her whole heart, her soul, her body, her mind. Make sure you get her mind.
Yeah. Oh, man.
There's nothing to get. You know what I'm saying, Ted? I think you believe you know what I'm saying.
I understand.
We both know that some men have gone down the path, including myself, and we have personal experience in this, of trying to control a woman. One thing you cannot do and never can do is control the actions of another person.
Never.
It's just not possible.
Right. You can't control another person.
That's true.
But I would say this. One of the challenges is the way women think. It's easier to influence women, and a lot of guys find themselves in relationships with a woman who's being influenced by a third party, and that's really why I say men have to put some boundaries on a woman and say, hey, these are the boundaries that you operate within. Men have a lot more discipline than women do. And I'm not saying that to put women down, but just if you just look at the neuroscience of the way a woman's brain works, women suffer more anxiety and depression than men. So it's easier to influence women. So a guy's got to really be on top of her. And that's why I was telling the gentleman here, one of the ways that a woman's going to bring value to you, she's got to have a network that opens doors for you of opportunity. And if she doesn't have that, she really has no right to ask for anything.
But unfortunately, I can barely hear you in the middle of the street somewhere. There's a lot of action. And I'm old, and all the loud music killed it for me. But what I can tell you is a woman can be alone. I believe what you're saying. But there's also those broken women out there that are addicted, that are stripping, that are hooking, And there's a lot of them that are good. You just have a good heart, but they've been broken. Don't
Yeah.
hurt them, skirt, and they don't know how to heal. I met one the other night. I don't want to say what her name is. She's beautiful. But you can just look in her eyes and tell. Somebody broke her. Something bad happened.
Hey,
She locked her emotions in
hey,
the box.
listen, Gene, but I don't want her calling the police on you because she's broken. I don't want you. I don't want you doing another live with me from Rawway State.
But at least I don't punch him out anymore.
Oh my God.
I love you, brother. We have to talk. I'm in field to go to court on Monday. You'll find me.
You want to talk tomorrow?
That would be awesome, man.
All right.
Have lunch or something. That would be awesome.
Cool. Let's chat. We'll chat on the phone tomorrow, man. And for the record, Eugene went to my same high school. You graduated with my brother, though, right?
I graduated in '83.
With my
I've
brother.
been with a different 20-year-old girl every night this week and every night last week. So I know how to treat them right.
I hear you loud and clear, man.
Some of them are 21. A lot of them are under 21. They're all 18.
So you just negated everything you said, man. But thank you. Talk to you later, Eugene.
Salute, my man. Hey, salute, Eugene. Hey.
Bye.
Blessings.
Yeah, Imperator, I thought he was being sarcastic at first, but I don't think so. But
yeah, but like, I mean, like, from what, like, I just he's saying and stuff. I think the guy was in jail. I think, right? The guy was in jail, or that's just sarcastically.
no, I don't think so. I don't think there was sarcasm in that.
But like, referring to that stuff, it's like, a lot of these females and stuff, they love criminals and felons.
Eugene was locked up. He said in 28 days he was arrested 36 times or something like that. So,
Oh man.
So he was violent to his women.
Oh no. Oh my God. Women love criminals, though. I mean, like, it's just, it's just behavior and stuff that, like, just excites them, about the criminal and stuff. Cause I know like a girl I'm in college and stuff, and like, she went to my high school and stuff, and like, I was like a freshman at that time, and she was a senior, and like, she works as a nurse and stuff right now, and like, her husband, he's a felon. I'm just like, what? I don't understand, like, why these nurses and stuff, they love the felons, I'm guessing. I don't know what's up with that, but it's crazy.
So there's something called hybristophilia. Have you ever heard me talk about that?
I haven't, no.
Okay, hybristophilia is real. I'm gonna type it in the super chat, the way to spell it.
Okay.
So it's literally a mental disorder, and it's when a person is sexually aroused and can more easily climax when they're with someone who's a criminal, and I mean a criminal, like a murderer, a rapist, a robber, a drug dealer, or with someone who cheats on their spouse. There are, and men can suffer from it, but mostly women suffer from it. And that means that they are more interested in being in a relationship with a criminal or someone who does bad things. They'll get into relationships with married men. And they say it's really a mental disorder. And unfortunately, there are a lot of women out there who suffer that. They've gone undiagnosed and they raise children, and it's a big problem. but you will be able to pick up the emotional instability that she has, and she's looking for. So the guy Eugene said he used to be, that's the guy women would be looking for.
Kind of like a Ted Bundy, right? Kind of like a
No, like literally like what Eugene said. He used to beat his women.
oh no, oh my
Um,
god. Oh,
oh, sorry, Ted Bundy's right. I was thinking Al Bundy. Yes, Ted Bundy, exactly.
yeah, Ted
Ted
Bundy.
Bundy,
Yeah,
right. And actually, Ted Bundy married. Didn't he marry someone in jail while in jail?
yeah. Oh, I think so actually. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's a perfect example, right? But drug dealer. I mean, I personally know a woman who is a judge, and she dates drug dealers. She's an attorney as a judge dating drug dealers. So they could be well educated.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Like, holy crap.
So guys, so one, you hear a lot of guys talk about women hitting the wall. So a lot of women who suffer from that will burn up their youth, their 20s, their prime years for rearing, having children. They'll burn them up with these guys who are, either in a relationship with a married man, or they'll visit some guy in prison and they're in a relationship with him, and when they see that's a dead end, 35, then they come looking for a guy like you and saying, where have you been all my life? And what she's in the meantime, she's developed so many bad habits, the inability to resolve conflict, poor communication, low expectations of men, and she becomes a liability. And if you think about what kind of network could she develop while seeing, a convict. Now, if she was dating a married guy, she may have had access to parts of his network, maybe. But it's just a woman like that can be a liability, and men have to be very intelligent about how they assess a woman.
Yeah. I saw like a video on Ted
Ted Talks,
Bundy and stuff.
Ted Bundy. Okay.
Yeah, and I was just like, damn, like this guy's a serial killer, and like the guy has a wife and stuff, and just what, I process from it is that women, like, they love fucking violence, I'm guessing, they love violence, I'm guessing, like, like just violent, and just like men and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Well, they see, that's why you say they suffer from hybristophilia, because those women get aroused by guys like that, and it's easier for them to reach a climax with a guy like that. So some guy who goes to law school and is, he's going to either start his own firm or get a job in practice corporate law, she would find that guy boring, and she wouldn't be sexually aroused by him.
Yeah, I feel like, with a lot of the men these days, they're just like, just emotionally and like, just physically, just weak. That's what I see in
Mm.
California and stuff, specifically, I mean, um I remember, hanging out, and just with a friend and stuff in high school about a year back when I was like 17 and stuff, and the guy was crying and stuff that his girlfriend just broke up with him. I'm just like, and then what I process, like from it, like maybe like I say like 5 days, and just later and stuff. It's just like the guys, our like men today are like, just emotionally weak, and they're just like, they're too like emotional. Instead of just being like just logical and self-aware. So
Yeah. So, on one hand, manhood is under attack. For being masculine, you get called toxic. So,
yeah,
some men have been beaten into a corner and told to find their feminine side. And then you have men who were raised in a home without a father, so they have no idea what the masculine side looks
oh
like.
I see. Oh, I see that all the time. Mr. Santos, I see that like just all the time in California stuff. A lot of my friends, they're usually single mother, single father, uh, uh, circumstances and stuff. So it's sad to see and stuff. Like the emotional like pain these just men like just have gone through and stuff. I've seen it like I've seen it firsthand just also, and it's just like sad to see, but I mean like it's part of life. I can't do anything about it, so yeah, it's sad. I feel bad.
Well, yeah, there. So, maybe a good idea is to do workshops to get men to kind of clear out uh,
Yeah.
those childhood traumas, right? Single
Oh
parents
yeah.
create that, right? The men being told they're not worth anything because they're men, or you're toxic because you're masculine. It, this aspect, these kinds of conversations in our society have to be destroyed, and men need, it's almost like psychological warfare. So men need to be armed with the tools to be able to withstand and shield themselves from that psychological warfare. And if need be, they need to be able to respond back to shut down that behavior from women.
Yeah, and like just what else like I was gonna say and stuff, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like especially with generation C and stuff. I mean, a lot of like a lot of just men these days I see are just like weak. They're just weak in general. I mean, and it's yeah, I mean, it's it's part of life and stuff, but just I understand. And also like one more thing and stuff, but I noticed like back in high school and stuff, I noticed that if I was like just unemotionally just unavailable, um you know women like just came to me for some reason. I'm not really sure like why that happened though, so I was wondering if you could go into like uh depth about it.
So, so women know. So when I remember, a few minutes ago, I was speaking to Eugene, and I said women's
Yeah.
brains function different. They have more anxiety and depression. Women in the United States, they are 3.5 times more likely to attempt suicide. So these are failed attempts at suicide because women suffer, and it's only the way their brains work. They've done these neuroimaging comparing men and women's brains at the same time in the same room and same situation. Women suffer, they worry about things that men do not worry about. So if you understand that,
Yeah.
then the last thing a woman wants is to be with a man who worries as much as she does. She's not going. A lot of the protection women claim they want, it's often from themselves. and the things they worry about, their anxiety, the erratic behavior. And if a man can be solid emotionally, and speak to her logically and talk her out of her anxiety, she's going to feel a lot safer with that guy. If you can't do that because you're being as emotional as she is, it's almost like she's going to treat you like you're a woman. She's not going to respect you as a man. So,
That's
you
so
know,
true.
men have that emotional, that mental stability, and from an intellectual perspective, if you look at IQs, women are pretty average. You don't see the female Einsteins and the female Steve Jobs, uh, Howard Hughes, if you even know who that is. But
I was born in '02. I was born in
oh,
'02.
Nikola Tesla. I'm sorry. Say that again.
I was born in '02, so I'm not really sure who just Howard Hughes is.
There's a movie called The Aviator. It's about
Uh,
Howard Hughes. If you haven't seen it, it's a really good
I'll
movie.
check it out.
Yeah, it was made 2000 something. Very good movie. Leonardo DiCaprio plays Howard Hughes. He's a real guy.
Yeah.
Changed aviation and Hollywood. That this one guy. But anyway, so women are looking for men that can give them the emotional stability that she usually can't give to herself.
I
Well,
noticed that actually also.
stable, she's not going to respect you. So if you are presenting yourself as stable and not being very emotional, she's likely to be attracted to that because there's something she can lean on.
Yeah, I noticed that also. During just high school and just outside of high school and stuff. I mean, just when I went cold and stuff, kind of like stoic and stuff. I know this woman and stuff, were trying to talk to me and stuff, which I'm in, just out of, just random and stuff, and they're like, just flirting and stuff. So that's, yeah, so that's what I knew and stuff about, the red pill is a real thing, and um, MGTOW is also, just real too. So yeah, I've been uh, trying my best and stuff to and just learn a lot of just information and stuff, so I try my best and stuff to learn about it and and just read people and stuff, on a logical standpoint. So but all I can say is that thank you so much for the time today. I do appreciate it. And it and the help you providing stuff, I'll take I'm into account and stuff. So and I've been subbed to your channel for the past year now, and I do and and red pill uh Greek and stuff also. So
Good.
thank you so much for your time today. I do appreciate it.
Well, just quick, if you haven't looked at some of my very older videos, they're very much focused on business. So if you are considering, well, you're looking to go to med school, so if you ever want to open your own practice or just having knowledge on leadership as a doctor, I mean, a doctor is definitely in a leadership position. You might want to check out some of my really old videos where I talk a lot about leadership.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for the help today, and blessings to you.
Thank you. Same to you.
All
Appreciate
right, all right,
you chatting and sharing, man. Thank you.
all right,
Good
all
luck.
right. Salute, man. All right, salute.
Take care. Bye. So it's always good to have the younger generation engaging and hearing where they're coming from and giving feedback. That's that's the one thing that's going to have to happen with men is the generations we're going to have to sort of integrate the different generations. That gentleman is 18, so we need the 18-year-olds and the 25-year-olds and the 30 and the 35. You know, we need them all, and the 60-year-olds. And and the guys who sarcastically say, just give a woman anything she wants. But then he backed it up and said, well, if she's a leech, you pour salt on her and eat her. Good for protein. So where we started with this was, does hip hop promote poor mental health for men? And, you know, my concern is DMX, for him to have had so much drug usage that he's OD'd more than once, to the point that his body could no longer take it. Like what's behind drug usage is what I'm really after. And is hip hop really promoting drug usage as a substitute for really dealing with a lot of the emotional trauma that people are coming out of, whether it's the environmental conditions, you know, growing up with violence or violent household, not being well educated. Like, what are the things that are creating the emotional trauma and triggers where people believe that drugs and alcohol is the escape? Yeah, Ghost 91, no question, definitely mature. Yep, great conversation with him. So what we were after was, at what point do we take a step back and look at hip hop and say, is it promoting the healthiest mental images for men? And I went through an article and looked at where DMX talked about going to jail was part of making him a man. And that concerns me to think that being in jail is synonymous with manhood. And he talked about sleeping in as a child, as a teenager, running away from home and sleeping in the Salvation Army dumpsters, and going into the youth detention centers and institutions, and saying, you know, all of that prepared him for prison and manhood. You know, these false sense of realities about manhood is concerning. It's very concerning. And we just had an 18-year-old come on and talked about how many of the people in his age group, you know, he just graduated high school, and he could talk about how they've been influenced by hip hop and got into the whole drugs and alcohol and chasing and simping after women. So I would say as a nation, it's time to either turn our backs on hip hop because the messages that they're sending are contributing to poor mental health, or demand a transformation. You know, what are people doing with their children? Are you allowing them to listen to this kind, to things that are promoting poor mental health, or coming from a place of poor mental health, right? So you're someone like DMX is suffering from mental health challenges, and his music is projecting exactly that, and people are consuming it. In SW, you put Dr. Dre's The Chronic, had all teenagers getting high. Right, exactly. So, you know, it might seem cool, but if you look at it big picture, and where's this going? And we're looking at a guy who died at 50. 50 is young. Even if you're 18, I'm telling you, 50 is still young. It's still very young. Still plenty of years ahead of you. And to die of a heart attack that is really kind of induced from a drug addiction, from an overdose, it's time to really rethink and look at mental health and how people are resolving their mental health challenges, and looking at the lifestyles that we have that exacerbate, make mental health worse or weaker. Like this gentleman, the 18-year-old, was saying that a lot of people in his generation are weak mentally. So how do men even elevate one another and build anything if we are in an environment where the mental health is unstable, weak, afraid to be masculine, and constantly consuming more media, whether it's movies or music, that further supports a weak mindset. So these, even though I know I'm asking questions, I ask people to get that often the question is more valuable than the answer because of the conversations that the question will force people to have and kind of tease out different perspectives and solutions. So I know people just want, give me the answer, give me the solution. That's what we're educated to think. Just give me the answer. But we don't ask the right questions to get at the source and the solution. So I wanted to have this conversation. My condolences to the family of DMX. It's unfortunate that he had to lose his life at such a young age. And at the same time, it's an opportunity for people to rethink and re-examine what you expose yourself to. This is a problem. The gentleman that just joined me on the chat at 18, the guy is incredibly mature, very open, transparent. He is the kind of men that we need to join forces and build a stronger society. Because ultimately, it's going to be men that make corrections and build the foundation of power and advancement of society. We've always depended on men to do that. And from what I see, we will always, until women are willing to pack up and move off and show that they can build a better society than men without us, until that happens, it will be us building the foundation of our society. And having men who are terrified of being masculine because they were told it's toxic and they should be in touch with their feminine side, and we're almost suggesting and enforcing that men cower in the corners and stop being who they are from little boys. And before I sign out here, China is well aware that boys in their country are not as masculine as they have been. They don't understand masculinity. So China is teaching their boys from here on how to be masculine. They value that. And it will be very difficult to compete with a country that knows how to leverage masculinity. So, and if you haven't seen my video about why the youth are not the future, strongly advise you check it out. It's very short. It's 12 minutes. Love to hear your feedback on that. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, smash that bell. If you haven't hit that like button, smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe to my channel. If you haven't checked me out on Patreon, check me there. Any comments that you have after this, share this. Men need to hear this, and definitely younger guys need to hear the conversation that I just had with a young man. Brilliant guy, very mature for his age, and we need more men like that at every age across the board. So guys, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me and supporting me. Instagram, thanks for being here. And have a good weekend, guys. Take care. Thanks. Bye.